Welcome to Straight Talk with Supply Chain Insights. My name is Lora Cecere, and I record the insights from business visionaries to help people everywhere improve their supply chain. Today, I'm talking to TraceGains, and they have a unique concept of the supply chain manifesto that I want to share. So, Gary and Paul, let's start out with who's TraceGains and why should people care?
Well, sure. I'll start off, Laura. First of all, we're also very excited to have you be part of our upcoming conference in January, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But so we're excited to be here today, and we're excited to work with you over the course of the next several months. TraceGains is really the food and beverage industry's only networked ingredient marketplace. We connect buyers and suppliers together so that they have access to digitized information and they can share that information easily and seamlessly across an entire network of buyers and suppliers. We support more than 1,000 customers today. We have more than 20,000 suppliers on our network and our platform. And you can imagine as information is exploding, the amount of regulations are exploding across the industry. We find that buyers and suppliers are moving to our platform so that they can engage, understand the data that they have, share it with one another, and collaborate more effectively. So we're quickly becoming the de facto specialized food and beverage supply chain expert on the planet.
So, Gary, who uses it? Like, if I went to a food manufacturer, would it be somebody in R&D? Would it be a supply chain leader? Who's your primary
It's
user?
Sure, it's all of those. We have everyone from safety, regulatory, and quality control using our platform, as well as scientists, R&D, procurement. Um, it's really applicable to everyone within buyer or supplier communities, including sales and marketing folks on the supplier side who are trying to sell more products to the marketplace.
I love networks. Unfortunately, we don't have enough effective networks. So, without any further ado, Paul, introduce yourself, and then I'll have Gary introduce himself, and then let's talk about the manifesto.
Great. Hey, Laura. Yeah, Paul Bradley. So I work with Gary at TraceGains. I lead product marketing for the organization. I've been with TraceGains for coming right up on 2 years now.
How much fun is that? How big is TraceGains? How many people?
Gary, where are we? About 130 folks at this
It's
Okay.
point?
growing all the
So,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, growing all the time. I'm not even sure.
Yeah. Okay. And Gary, introduce yourself.
Sure. I'm Gary Isles. I'm the Senior Vice President of Marketing and Business Development at TraceGains. Like Paul, I've been here just over 2 years, and it's been a pretty exciting ride.
All right. So, Gary, first time we ever talked, you called me about this concept called the manifesto. What is it, and why are you working on a manifesto?
Sure. The manifesto really is a way that we've taken information that we've gotten from more than 1,000 customers, from our 20,000 suppliers, and really across more than 70,000 locations across the planet in 156 countries. So we kind of view the manifesto as it's really a voice of the market. It's less about what TraceGains believes in isolation and more about what we've heard over the years, how we've embraced those, call it, cries for help across the supply chain industry, and we've packaged those up to represent what we've heard. And it's a 13-point manifesto that really describes the things that we're doing to progress the supply chain as it relates to the food and beverage industry.
So, how should people think about the manifesto? Is it a principle based leadership document for TraceGains development? Is it your promise to the market of what you're trying to do with customers? Is it how you want customers, buyers and sellers to act? What is the purpose of the manifesto?
I think it's all of those things, but it's also our way of bringing clarity to what folks can and should be looking for in solutions to help them with their own, whether they're a buyer and they're trying to connect with suppliers and manage the vast supplier network, or they're suppliers trying to sell more ingredients in the marketplace. We believe these are the things that are emerging, particularly after COVID, as important and relevant points to kind of solving supply chain disruptions in its entirety. Paul.
Okay. So, Paul, we talked about collaboration and supply chain, but we really are not good collaborators and we're not good trading partners, right? We're very adversarial. Buyers and sellers don't get along so well. And in the manifesto, we've got 13 different points. So, what's your favorite?
For me, I have just really developed a passion for the R&D side of the food and beverage industry. I've just fallen in love with the commitment that I see at conference after conference, in customer conversation after customer conversation. Yeah, everything's under pressure to change. Obviously we went through the big period of disruption. We have so many major goals around ESG. We have so many big emerging senses of mission across the industry. Figuring out how all of that becomes reality in an increasingly diverse and complex global supply chain, that's the challenge, I feel like, in the next few decades. It's super exciting to watch.
Well, I don't know if you know this, Paul, but my very first job, and my mother was really thankful I got my first job, was in R&D in food and beverage. And back then I had a manual that was about this big that I would call up, and I would try to get ingredients for what I was working on in the lab. And it was hard. It sounds like it'd be easy, but it was hard, right? And so, Gary, and we've heard from Paul what his favorite part of the manifesto is, because it's really about driving behaviors. What's your favorite part?
I think my favorite part is the fact that we've recognized that over time, particularly through COVID, that it's the end users who really are the superheroes of the supply chain. And that's our very first point in the manifesto. And what we mean by that is that in the past, executives made a lot of the decisions. Those were cascaded out through the organization. And what we saw, particularly during COVID, was we saw these unlikely heroes arise from kind of the working levels of organizations. They became more empowered to solve problems and solve them very quickly for their organizations. We think they're more empowered than they can ever be through solutions like TraceGains, but we see them getting a bigger, broader voice in the organization. We've seen organizations flatten over time, and that's happening in all industries. We've seen the people that are doing the frontline work having the authority to get things done. And so we believe that by putting them at the center or the epicenter of everything that we're doing, we feel the supply chain is going to be better off.
Well, gentlemen, let's close. The manifesto's here. How do people find out more about it? I know you've got an upcoming conference, and we're going to be doing a series of education. How do people really get value from your network? What do you think, Paul?
Well, to fully understand what we're talking about in our manifesto, it's part of our website, and we'd love for folks to come and see that and engage with us. As far as TraceGains Network, it's absolutely easy and free to come and begin to have the experience of TraceGains Networked Ingredients Marketplace. Our search capability there is open, whether you're a procurement person, whether you're the R&D person trying to get away from the big binder. We always encourage people to come search, experience what's going on in the ecosystem and the network that we've created. It's a great, easy entry point, and lots of ways to get further engaged from there.
So you said some nice words there, easy and free, right? You do have the freemium model, right, to help people to use it. And easy and free helps to drive adoption. So, let's close. Your thoughts, Gary, about how do people get more information?
Yeah, I'm going to echo what Paul said. I mean, first of all, our website has a wealth of information on there about what we do, including the manifesto. But more importantly, we felt it very important that we offer capabilities to the marketplace in a free model so that they could try. And there are a lot of small providers that may be sufficient for them. There are very large brands on the planet that need more, and we offer more services. And those, of course, come at an investment to help operationalize their business. But at the lower end of the marketplace, we felt like this is the best way to see what we can offer, what we can do, how we can benefit, whether you're a R&D person looking to source new ingredients, whether you're a quality manager looking to obtain documentation, whether you're a sales or a marketing individual on a supplier side trying to sell more products. We wanted to open this up to the world. We think it benefits all of us if we work more closely together, and that's what we're delivering to the market.
Well, what I think is really cool about the manifesto, which I'm hoping people will check out on the TraceGains website and go to the conference in January, is it outlines some behaviors and principles for people to be better trading partners. And, we just aren't in the supply chain today. And so, kudos, Gary and Paul, for the leadership, and I'm hoping other networks follow suit. Until next time, this is Lora Cecere with Supply Chain.
Thanks, Paul.
to know.